This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse, is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness.
Jai Bhagwan, ladies and awesome men out there. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani, and I have my fabulous co-hosts, but everybody knows
Prajna Madhavi.
And we have
Tina Fuller.
Woohoo! So this is our last podcast of 2024. It's so hard for me to believe that like the end of the year is here.
Yeah.
Everybody I talk to is actually in the same boat. Like, really? Like Christmas and the New Year is around the corner? It's so bizarre to me. But we are so excited to have you here. And today our focus is going to be on a year in review. So no slideshow, sorry, but rather a year in review of the things it is that we mapped out from the beginning of this year, which was all about a life of purpose. So if you have been with us since the beginning of 2024, we decided that our focus for the podcast this year was going to be living a life of purpose, specifically through the 5 layers of the self, the 5 koshas. So that Annamaya kosha, which is the physical body, that Pranamaya kosha, our energetic body, our Manomaya kosha, the mental emotional, Vijnanamaya kosha, our level of intuition and awareness, and at the end, the Anandamaya kosha, our connection with spirit, source, however it is that you interpret that. But I cannot take any credit at all for today's podcast because my fabulous bestie and co-host, Ms. Prajna Madhavi, mapped out this. I was like, you know what? You design the final podcast for us. And then Tina was like, I have a great idea. And so we're bringing Tina back on for her, of course, to do her Being Contagious segment, but we will get to that towards the end. So I'm just going to pass it to you, Praj, if you want to say a little bit about what today's podcast, like what you thought about in constructing it, and then we can jump into our wellness check-in.
All right.
All right.
So when I thought about a year in review, I really thought about bringing in what we've been doing through the Dharma Circle with our Clever Fox. So we each have our Clever Fox in front of us, all 3 different colors.
Woohoo!
And we did at the very beginning of the Clever Fox, it has 1 year from now, what do you want? What do I want my life to look like or to be like? And then it has a 5 years, a 10 years, a 20 years. And we just worked through the Clever Fox throughout the Dharma Circle all year and interacted with it and did there's all sorts of fun stuff and reviews of the 3-month review and monthly review, and there's all sorts of good stuff. But I wanted to do just where we were at the beginning of the year and whether or not we completed, got any further
Achieved the goals that we set?
Achieved the goals that we set.
Awesome.
Got any further, and then where we also have some, where we didn't quite reach and why. So
I love that.
I thought that was something that we needed to do. And then it's been, I would say the first thing that I want to say thank you to is SB Studios.
Yes.
Shout out to them because they've really made our year doing this podcast really pretty amazing.
Oh,
so
could not agree more.
yeah.
Shout out to our team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just, Sean, Roberto,
Johnny,
they've all just done such a great job and made this year with our podcast just so great. And,
they really helped us level it up.
Mm-hmm. And set those goals at the beginning of the year. And I think, setting some new goals in 2025 with where we want to go in the next year. I'm sure they're doing the same thing. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's been great working with them.
Thank you for putting that as part of our agenda today, because I don't think that the folks that actually make this happen, we sit here and we chitty chat and share the knowledge bombs and all of that, but the folks that really make this happen for us are Roberto, Sean, and Johnny here.
I mean,
SB
Sean
Studios.
does our makeup every day.
I know, right, right. Look how fabulous we look, right? I'm telling you, he does the lashes and the whole thing. It's just.
I'm kidding. He doesn't.
He does not. But they have made this experience for us just so much better. And just it's always delightful to come here and see everybody, and the communication and the professionalism has just been incredible. So folks at SB Studios, gentlemen, we love you so much. And thank you for handling us as three crazy chicks doing crazy stuff, because we would be nowhere without you. So thank you.
Yep. So with that, wellness check-in. So it has
Before we do that, though,
Okay.
what is I'm very curious, because I know the Clever Fox was sort of something that I was like, we need to do this. Like, how have you gals enjoyed working through this book? And for the record, I mentioned this to the two of you before our podcast today. We actually asked the two women who created Clever Fox to come on the podcast, and they very politely said no. And I respected that. I totally respected that. But they make excellent materials, and I'm just curious what both of your experience was, because like I fell in love. I just want to know what you thought.
Well, to be real, for me, I was looking through it and I was like, there is so much more that I should have used in this book. I was like, what happened to the other 3/4 of this book that I didn't use? And so moving forward, I'm going to use it way more.
I love that.
In the future. Because I was like, oh, I could have done this. Oh, I could have done this. And all I did was, which is still quite a bit, but yeah.
Are you going to buy a new one for 2025? Or are you going to use, the space in here?
I'm going to look at the space in here and probably use it for another year.
Nice.
'Cause I still think I have some space. But yeah, moving forward, I at least now know that there's more to be seen.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh, you just go day by day. Okay, just going with it. And then in the back, I was like, oh, wait. There's like all these free pages.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Absolutely. What about you, T?
I was totally on board with the concept, and then I inadvertently rebelled against using it until we really started our 108. And like you can see all these wonderful blank pages, but even just since the 108 started, and as that progressed, I started using it more and more. I found those beautiful blank pages in the back, which I started using for my 8 minutes of daily gratitude journaling.
That was super smart, T.
And it has been perfect. I am buying a new one for next year because I want to track how much I used it over the course of the year.
Nice.
The one thing I am going to repurpose is all of the beautiful things that I found for my vision board that I never actually did. So that's the first goal for next year.
I am really impressed you have a folder full of pictures that you didn't use.
I know.
I struggled to find the pictures.
And of all people, Tina, right? You'd think
I'm not surprised.
No,
it's yeah.
Of course.
But yeah, I was like, I struggled to find the 5 pictures I had in my book.
You're so funny. I will be totally honest with my vision board that I did for 2024. I called up Pramanica and I'm like, do you have any magazines? Like, because people don't really have magazines anymore.
No.
And like, I mean, and
all of mine came out of one magazine.
Exactly. She's like, I
National
have a.
Geographic.
That's what she had. That's
Let's
exactly what
see
she had. So
what's
she
in
gave me a
here.
stack of National Geographics, and I was like, oh, okay. And I pieced through them and all that. But yes, and then like I printed out some things off of the web, and then cut them out and stuff like that. But yeah, magazines, like vision boarding is not the same anymore.
No.
When you used to have magazines that you could.
Yeah.
Cut out, but now they're so expensive. I went to Fred Meyer. They've got that one section that that has like a couple of racks of magazines. First of all of them say the same thing, and a lot of it is just kind of garbage.
Yeah,
sorry. And they're like $9 a magazine, and 90% of it is ads. I'm like, I can get that from Instagram for free.
Yep.
Like, nope.
Yes, you can.
Not doing that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just
that's all right.
wanted to see how you guys thought about it. So
Yeah.
I used all of mine for the most part. I mean, I still have December to do, and I did not use as many of the blank pages in the back for sure, but I did all 52 weeks
Nice.
and my
Impressive.
monthly reviews. What I did is I blocked out time.
Uh-huh.
I blocked. Like, what's that? What's that nowadays? I did, though. I blocked out time. I would do it every Sunday. I would do my weekly review and then my preparation for the following week. So,
Yeah. That's great.
yeah, that's all.
Awesome.
Anyway,
Okay.
All right.
Tina,
Yeah.
how's your week been?
It's been a whirlwind. I can't believe it's already Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
There's part of me that's like, I wish it was still Monday. I have so much left to do. And there's part of me like, if there was one more day this week, I don't know if I would have the energy to power through it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right.
I agree.
yeah. But,
I'm excited to coach with you tomorrow morning.
oh, it's going to be a party.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going to hit them.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you two are coaching together?
No, we
Oh.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
It's just
don't.
always fun.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much cooler.
Mm-hmm.
We might
having
have
a
to do
partner.
the Turn Up Ye Merry Gentlemen by special request of my
That was a good one.
It's a good
It was. It's a
Oh.
Christmas-esque rap techno mix,
Nice.
holiday kind of thing. So, but it's not cheesy.
Okay.
It's not cheesy because a lot of them are cheesy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So, but the music mix was good. I like Fit Radio.
yeah. They've
I
got
do
some good
too.
Stuff.
I've actually tried to get it for myself, but it costs way too much money.
How much does it cost? I'm curious.
No, it's like $30 or something a month.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that for myself.
I get Apple One for $28 a month, or
Yeah.
whatever, and I get a lot more features with that. So, I mean, if you own a gym, it's a separate issue.
Yeah, if you own a gym, definitely.
But for yourself, no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, how about you, Satyavani?
Ooh, this was a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say physically, the first part of the week I was slogging through mud because of the inversion, and I'm just like, I just want to lay in bed and eat cookies. Not that I ever do that, but it was just one of those like, oh, really tough.
We talked about what happens when you eat a cookie. So. That was last week.
And when the inversion comes. So once a year, and I am going to document this on this podcast. Once a year, I get into this majorly cranky spell. And it always kind of happens around this time of year when the inversion happens. And I'm like, I don't know about this and I don't know about that. And like, I get all tangled up in like my life purpose and blah, blah, blah. And so I call Praj and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, you do realize that this happens every year, right? And I was like, oh man, I am such a bitch. And she's like, you have to remember that you are a Leo, and Leos, they're all about the sun. And when the sun's not out, you don't feel well. And it's 100% true. I was just like, so like, "Argh." I can take, a couple gray days, et cetera. But like this was going on for a while. Like we're in, like today the sun came out a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right. But like 3 weeks of this, I'm dying, people. And then it also just makes me feel kind of heavy. And even though I'm in bulking season right now, which I love, having like 3 to 4 extra pounds on me and a couple extra percentage of body fat, I'm struggling a little bit. I know what the long game is. It's like, eat heavy, lift heavy. I need the calories. This is a great time of year to do it, et cetera. But I'm just sort of like, I feel heavy. And I'm just kind of slogging through a little bit. But
I feel that way all the time.
I know we've had the 160 conversation.
Yes.
So, but yeah. And so the struggle was real to get to the gym. I mean, I did my workouts. That's where discipline comes in, because I'm not always motivated, but I did it. And after our talk, I was like, I'm going to change my attitude. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to change my attitude. And, Michael and I also had a conversation. He's like, sometime. I'm like, you know what? You're right. And I apologized. And I'm like, I'm going to do better. And ever since then, I felt a lot better. And like my Nila Kanta meditation is moving forward. So I feel much more spiritually grounded. I want to go into the new year feeling more spiritually grounded. And, we wrapped up Dharma Circle this week, which was great. And I thought it was a great year-end review, and everybody got to, share. So, yeah. So
Nice.
it was started out a little, but ended strong.
Yeah.
How about you?
This week, another fairly busy week, just stuff after school. And I was getting used to being able to work out every day, and I haven't been able to do that this week. So it irritates me a little bit.
I get that.
So that's I'm trying to deal with that and just be like, you know what? It's okay to take a day away
It's fine.
and not have to do it. So it's just when you have certain goals set and you want to reach those goals and then you can't, like I have lost a couple of pounds of muscle instead of gaining a pound of muscle. which is our goal. And I'm like, this is great. So yeah, so there's that. But again, I'm still doing it just fine. So it's just fine.
Everything's fine.
Yep. So
And also, like, compare it to like 2 years ago.
I know. Yep. It's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just little aches and pains, which actually, when I work out less, they kind of go away a little bit, as long as I can still kind of keep moving. And mentally, emotionally, I would say the last couple of this week, this time of year is hard for a lot of people. It's hard for a lot of students. It's hard for a lot of teachers. The kids are kind of, I never know if it's the environment we set for kids or if it really is the environment that they're in, because I feel like we do a really poor job of saying the kids are going to be crazy this week. And I'm like, well, way to set a self-fulfilling prophecy for the children.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I just...
And are they really?
Yeah, it's just another day. Like, I just try to look at it as it's just another day and just teach them. And what I'm finding is with, knowing that this is my last year, I'm trying forever, even if it's just for a year, whatever.
It's not going to be.
Yeah, and it's just kind of just putting it all out there. Like yesterday, we went from talking about the war in Ukraine to why we pay taxes. And I was like, and the kids absolutely loved it because I set up, okay, this is how much we gave to Ukraine. And it just went question to question. Well, what about this? What about this? And like, it sucks because I think about this is why I love teaching. Like, I just love where it can go.
Right.
And just the kids are like, I really love this. This is like the best stuff we've learned all year. And I'm just like, great. But just
And you've
having
created
those,
that.
yeah, but just having those conversations, I'm like, this is why I do this job.
Yes.
Like, this is why I've always loved doing this job.
Yes.
Because this is stuff that you're interested in.
Right.
But it's just and again, it's the system, the way it's just like, no, you must teach this. And you can't teach that. You got to teach this.
And you
gotta
can't
hit
talk
these
about that.
targets. Yeah. And it, but having days like that, I'm just like, this is rad.
I love that.
And they loved it. They were like,
Of course they did.
There's a couple that are like, this is lame. But then the other kids are like, shut up, we like it. So
You can leave.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was great. And getting back into my Nilakanta meditation just once in the morning.
That's okay.
This morning I didn't get the full time, but I'm like, just do what you can do. And just, I'm trying to really keep that in mind, that like, you just do what you can do, but you don't just skip it just because you don't have
The full.
the full amount that you want.
Yep. That's
So-
been a thing for me as well, because we're starting, as we're ending the 108, we simultaneously started, 75 hard, just to keep on track. And we've sorry, Andy, we modified it a little bit because we've done 75 hard. This is what, our fifth time doing it. The mental toughness part is not the difficulty at all. And so like a couple of days this week, it was like, the outdoor walk just got cut short, but I was like, I still went out and I did something, so I've adopted that attitude now with, it's not an all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, hey, if I can only do, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
30 minutes of just getting fresh air is better than no minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
compound interest, I always have in the back of my head.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So
Yes.
how
1
I
year
laid
goals.
this out. Yeah, 1 year goals. So in the Clever Fox, we had 8 separate categories for the Clever Fox. And my idea was taking, 3 is the list, 4 is what was the goal? Did I achieve it? If no, what limitations held me back? If yes, what do I attribute to my success? And then I also wrapped in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra,
So proud.
which
1.14.
Yep. So the sutra is practice is firmly rooted when cultivated over a long period of time without break in all earnestness. So I just kind of wanted to keep that thread going as we talk about our goals, because I think a lot of that, I mean, yeah, this is your goal for 1 year, but maybe that carries on to the next year. It's not like you lose that,
Yes.
ability to have that goal, or drive to have that goal, or want to just say, well, achieve that goal. And then, just
Next.
let it go out the window. So, so
And I
wanted to
love
keep
that quote. I just want to pause for a second on that. Like, that's one of my absolute favorite quotes from Patanjali Sutras that, and I think what this indicates, practice becoming firmly grounded when done over a long period of time, without break, in all earnestness, meaning like that ambition and discipline to keep moving it forward. What I so appreciate about that quote is the idea that the ancients, all the stuff that we talk about today, about, mental toughness and discipline, and sometimes you got to go dark and you got to put, you got to set the goals and you just keep doing the grind and, whatever the case is. The ancients knew this 5,000 years ago.
This is new.
This is not new. And I'm so glad that you chose this, because that really wraps the podcast around this year with living a life of purpose, knowing that like it does not stop. And that doesn't mean that you don't have wins along the way. It doesn't mean that you don't achieve or accomplish things along the way, but we're always in a state of becoming. And in that state of becoming, we have to keep with the practice, always being firmly grounded, knowing that there really is no finish line.
No.
And if we start to think of finish lines, we kind of shortchange ourselves a little bit. Because even if we achieve whatever goal it is that we're going to share today, that goal that gives birth to something else. And so we're constantly in this moving, stepping forward. When we think that like, okay, I achieved it, boom, check it off, and then I go back and I sit on the couch, you don't evolve and change and constantly become. So that's what I love so much about this quote. So thank you for highlighting that one.
Well, and that also wraps back around to, Atomic Habits, right?
Yes.
It's a newer read. I'd heard about it before. I'd never read it. Actually read it now. And the growth mindset, and even wrapping up the end of 108. Like, the coolest part of that is what's next, right?
Yes.
So it's been great. These have been some really great practices, but there are other practices that I've had at different points in my life that have really served me. And I think we talked about this in the Dharma circle. Like, the next step is, okay, what is my list? What are the things that I do every day that help me be the best version of me, help me work towards my purpose, allow me to serve others, and just identifying what those things are and recognizing that they can change. Like, it's not going to be the same forever. Different things are going to serve you at different points in your life, and you can pick and choose, right? It's all about that constant desire to keep cultivating greatness over time.
I like what you said, Tina, also just about this idea of that they don't have to be the same, because sometimes a practice, it doesn't serve you anymore. Like it has stretched its limit for you. It served a purpose in time. It's just like relationships. We have all different kinds of relationships throughout our lives, and sometimes we have friendships that last for 5, 6, 7 years, and then all of a sudden, like, that relationship just ends. And it doesn't have to be some dramatic situation that caused it to end, but it served a purpose at that time, but can serve as a launch pad for whatever is to come next. So I like the idea of, I don't have to keep doing this because I said I'm going to do it and I'm going to commit. Like, you can evolve and change that. And that's the great part of this evolution. So,
Yeah.
All right, Praj, lead us through.
Okay, so the first one was in health and fitness. So for me, I had kind of a 2-part goal. Strong and running again, little knee and hip pain. The hip pain is still kind of holding me back a little bit. I wouldn't say that I feel super confident with that, and they're connected. I mean, I'm almost positive that my knee and my hip, opposite sides of the body, are connected in some way. So,
Really?
yeah. So that goal may change this next year. We'll see. But the second part was great balance of strength and flexibility, and I think I've done a good job at keeping that this year. So, yeah, between yoga and my strength training, I think I've created a good balance that way. So,
I actually think the yoga and the strength training is also going to get you closer to
the other one.
the other one of being pain-free and running and all of that. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't give up on that first one yet.
Yeah.
So
No.
yeah.
I'm not. I'm finding maybe I need to find another way. Yeah. Just a different way to get there.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that you mentioned in the circle the other day was more of a focus in 2025 on mobility.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah. So that was mine.
Awesome. T.
So mine was reclaim my health and fitness. And I realized with this one, I could have been a lot more specific and a lot more detailed. I know SMART goals.
That's okay.
I struggle to write SMART goals. So my
They
goal
only give you so much space.
I know. It's a very small box.
But there's all this wononderful space in the back where I can
Yeah.
say, refer to the back,
Who looks at the back?
Exactly. Refer to dotted page.
Appendix B,
I love it.
subsection 3. But with that, I think there are things that I've done that have moved me towards that goal, the engagement with the fit family, just keeping active, keeping busy, getting steps in, getting movement in. I think there are things that contribute towards what my idea was with that goal. But next year, I'm looking forward to being a lot more specific so that at the end of the year, I can't just be like, well, I don't know if I did that or not because it's not measurable.
Yep.
But next year, giving myself some really more specific actionable
Can you think of one
things.
thing that you would add that would make it more specific?
Good question.
So my list for next year already, I want to do my first and second Spartan. I want to do the Grand Slams. I'm going to do the famous potato half marathon. I mean, it's my 40th year, so I'm going to live it to the fullest. I've got all kinds of event type things to look forward to in that.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Good.
I found that when you have an event that you're working towards, at least this is for me, that like that keeps things on track, especially when you pay and register for it. You're just like, I've got to do this thing. So it's awesome. All right.
Satyavani.
So this is funny. I had a couple, and my first bullet in health and fitness just says jacked. Like that's all I want. I just want to be jacked, And I think I did a good job with that.
Yes,
I
you
was gonna
did.
say, I watched you do your fit test this morning.
I did.
Your second benchmark, girl, you got it.
I was happy with that. I was happy with how my benchmark worked out today. I will say I questioned my life choices at about 45 seconds in on those weighted squats, but we powered through it. And it was great to have Corey there because he just kind of goes for it too. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to use this momentum to keep me going. So, but I put that I wanted to complete a Spartan trifecta this year, so that was achieved. So I feel really good about that. And then the other one that I actually aborted was to get closer to my level 4 testing for Krav Maga. And as both of you know, I aborted that situation, one, because the Spartan DECA thing came into my life, and I'm like, this is really where I want to be. And then, of course, just, having had a couple of head injuries, and at my age, at 50 years old, I just didn't want to have any more, brain issues.
From my perspective, you'd kind of lost the joy in going
Yes,
to
I did.
Krav.
I did. I love the people and love August, and I love the skills, etc. But there was a
Sometimes
shift.
that's not enough.
Right.
It's not enough when you're doing something like that.
Yes, and it's very intense, and and believe it or not, one of the pieces that I think I shared the other night that was part of the reason why I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna abort this right now, is forget about the practice and the fighting and all that kind of stuff, but it was the time at night where I was coming home late, wasn't getting to spend enough time with my husband at night, and I didn't want to do that anymore. After 5 years of having very late dinners and the two of us being two ships passing in the night, I was like, I need to give more attention to my husband and my family and my two kitties, my my two children.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily feel like that was something that I didn't accomplish, but rather I made a very distinct decision to change. So yeah.
Nice. All right, number 2 is business and career.
Ooh.
Tina, what was yours for this one?
Find meaningful work and work to be good at what I do.
Yes.
And I was sharing with you ladies earlier this week that a really awesome opportunity opened up for me in my office. I changed roles from being a GIS analyst to being a business analyst. And I love the challenge that I have found in the work I am doing now. It is so fun to interact with all of the various teams at our agency and see and hear about the work that they're doing and help to facilitate some of the conversations, make the connections so that things start to fall into place and things get done. And I love the fact that if I do my job well, I can make their jobs easier and they can shine like the rock stars that they are.
It's so great.
So that was a fun one.
That's like the motto in your life.
I
think.
know, right?
You just help other people shine.
I know.
That's, yeah,
And it's fun too because
so you.
you get to see their victories, share in their victories, celebrate those wins. It's fabulous.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I know that you have been so joyful since that career shift. Having good, thoughtful, meaningful work is so important in our lives. So I'm really happy for you, Tina.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that ties into mine as well.
I was going to say, what up,
Making
girl?
a steady stream from personal training and yoga, enough for me to start closing out my teaching career. So talking about finding meaningful, purposeful work. And again, like I said earlier, it sucks when you have those days where everything's like, oh, they're getting it and they're inspired. But it's just so far and in between those days.
That's the 1 week out of
Yeah.
52. And I'm happy you had that week.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But it almost takes, I think the sad thing is it almost takes that attitude of I just don't give a shit. I mean, I do give a shit. Like, I don't, it's not like I'm swearing in front of my kids or anything like that. But it comes to that point where I know I don't have to do this anymore.
Right.
To find the joy back in your job. And I'm like, this, man, why couldn't I have this every day, all the time?
Right.
Yeah. Then it wouldn't be a job, I guess.
Well, also, I think you've changed.
Yes. It's the only constant.
Right. You've changed. And so your experience with this soon to be past career is changing.
Yeah.
And I think you're having more fun with it right now. And like, let it be fun.
Yeah.
Let it be fun. Enjoy that piece of it. And it doesn't mean you have to, do it forever. And you also know that it's not, just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's that same evolution we were just talking about.
Yes.
You are evolving.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Love that. I too, like you said, it's so interesting how I just set, a goal of I want to get back into personal training and do more with the Anamaya Kosha, et cetera, as a foundational piece. And that's just kind of blown up over the past 6 months. All of a sudden, it's just like, whew. So I feel really, really good about that. And I feel even better about the fact that we have coming online the 5-body fitness program that we are putting together that will get released in 2025. And so I feel like our momentum is moving in that direction.
Yeah.
And so, when I set this goal, I was just like, oh, I just want to go back into personal training. And now how it's evolving is super exciting. So I feel like that's been that's been accomplished. And the one thing that did not manifest this year, which was another goal that I put for business and career, was that I wanted to do more paid speaking engagements. And honestly, I just didn't put energy into it
Yeah.
because this other thing has evolved. And I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Jai Bhagwan, Woman Warriors, Dr. Satyavani here, and I'm here to invite you to our Costa Rica Escape for the Woman Warrior this February from the 7th to the 15th, 2025. You are not going to want to miss this. My co-host and beautiful bestie, Prajna Madhavi and I are going to be leading a fantastic retreat for 7 days. And here's some of the highlights. San Jose, the city, for a couple of days. And then we're going to Jaco on the Pacific side of Costa Rica to enjoy the jungle, the beach, and all of the great food and events that Costa Rica has to offer. So if you are indeed interested, we would love to have you join us this February 2025. You can go to our website, thewomanwarrioracademy.com/empowerment retreats. Tell us a little bit about the adjustments of the Dharma Circle.
Yeah, we did a little bit of a facelift. We did drop the cost. And there is some adjustment. It's going to be primarily online, looking at the videos. We're going to have a quarterly meetup with myself and Satyavani.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we will have a kickoff meeting that will be live with all the participants in January, and we will end with a closing December 2025. But in between, you will be guided through instructional videos, which are top-notch, that actually have student participants in there. You can also learn from them and the questions it is that they ask. And we will have a daily chat so people can communicate with us through the chat. What's also really cool is that you will get a free annual membership to the Woman Warrior Academy online, which also gives you access to a whole bunch of other things, including the Ayurveda 101 course, which is a 6-session online course, Ayurveda 108, 108 days of 8 very diligent practices, and the daily channel, and also the warrior chat. So there's other materials and other access that you have in addition to the exclusive Dharma Circle section of the Woman Warrior Academy online circle. So check out the Dharma Circle. Go to thewomanwarrioracademy.com and you can look for the Dharma Circle right there, and you will see all the new details.
Family and friends.
Family and friends.
Satyavani?
This is really interesting. I shared this the other night, that I had 2 things. The first was I wanted to have a better relationship with my parents and my brother. And obviously I wrote this before my dad died. And so,
Still have a relationship with
I
your
still
dad,
have, yeah. And it's interesting. I actually have a really such a better relationship with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we had a bad relationship, because we didn't, but just, I feel more connected to him now that he's on the other side, which is really cool. And I feel like I'm having a much more honest and open relationship with my mom and my brother, just about, my needs, their needs, where we meet, where we're not going to meet. And that feels really good. Families are so complicated, in so many ways. And we grow up with these roles in our family. And I feel like now as adults, we are allowed to break away from those roles, which has been really cool. And that comes with tough conversations, but I love them. And I've said to both my mom and my brother, I would take a bullet for them. If it came down to, my life or theirs, that's a no-brainer for me. And at the same time, it's nice to see that we are evolving as a family. And it comes with its bumps and bruises, but I feel like that's been accomplished. And then my other one was to have a close advisory group of women in my life. And here we are.
Mm-hmm. Here we are.
Yeah, that was a good one this year.
Nice.
How about you?
I had meet with my brothers every week, which is always scheduled. It doesn't always happen.
This is for you, brothers.
Because we all have busy lives. I know. And I mentioned, do we need to do another night? And it took another 3 weeks of canceling for them to be like, maybe I should pick another night.
Because you were doing Mondays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I met with the one that really kind of got this whole thing started. And he's like, you know what? We'll just keep it at Mondays. I'm like, we can do it once a month. And he's like, well, I don't want to schedule one night a month, and then I can't make that night. And I'm like, okay, then let's just keep it the way it is. Fine. And I'll just show up. And if you guys don't show up, I'll wait 30 minutes. 15, actually.
I was going to say 30. That's a long
And then I'm
time.
off.
I thought it was like the 10-minute professor rule. You don't show up for 10 minutes, you're out.
Yeah. And that night, because my oldest brother and I talked, I'm like, I can only make it till 8. Because
I got no juice.
tired.
I got
And
no
he's like,
juice.
okay, good, me too. And then 8 o'clock, And my other brother texts, and he's like, I just realized it's 8 o'clock. And I'm like, this is how this goes. So
Are they? One of your brothers in a different time zone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oregon.
My oldest,
Yeah.
is in Oregon.
Okay.
It's a great goal to carry forward to next year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little more often.
It went so well, and then kind of like your workouts. Once you lose one, then you lose two, and then you start canceling every week, and so it really is very similar.
And then you're in the bathroom with a piece of chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And then dinner with friends 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Yeah, I knew that was a bit bold.
That
but
was,
we'll
I was
just
like,
shoot-
girl, look
we'll
at you
just
trying to
shoot
be
for
all
the stars.
social.
Yeah, that did not happen, mind you. And call my parents at least once a week, which that I've been really good about, and they are.
You are good at that.
Yeah, I am the good daughter for that,
I love that.
and I love checking in with them, and they really appreciate it, which is the main reason why I do it, because I know they want connection.
Yeah. I call
with
my
their
mom
kids.
pretty much every day.
Yeah. So, I know they need it, and it's nice for me too, to see what they're doing and check in.
So good.
Yeah.
Tina.
I had recommit to making family and friends a priority, create opportunities to spend more time with them. And at first, I didn't think I had achieved this goal, but I think my idea of what I meant by this goal has changed. Originally, when I said it, I was thinking back to pre-2020 times when we would get together as big groups, like lots of folks around the table, checking in, seeing all the buddies all at the same time. And when I was thinking about this year, I'm like, that doesn't look the same for me anymore. Like a lot of it is the one-on-ones, going for walks, grabbing coffee, just reaching out.
Do you like it this way better?
I think I do. I put a lot of pressure on trying to make things perfect
Yep.
and making big events. And it's like,
It so reminds me of the Nate Bargatze
Oh, good.
what is this?
Segment.
I don't think I've heard of this
Bargatze.
one.
of his comedy sketch.
Which we should insert that sketch
we should
into
actually.
this
You're welcome,
podcast.
Nate Bargatze.
So, Sean, remind us to do this. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, it's so
Yeah.
great.
He's like, in your 20s, you're down for whatever.
Right.
Like, what do you want to do? I'll set my apartment on fire. What do you want to do? And he's like, in your 30s, you're like, where are we going? Will it be loud? I will drive separate.
Yeah.
And he says,
there
"You say
parking?"
it way funnier, Nate. Yeah. And then he's like, by your 40s, you're like, I'm not.
I'm not going. I'm mad you thought I would go.
Yeah.
That's the best.
It's
And
a
then in your
classic.
50s, you don't even respond.
Yeah.
FYI.
It's a classic. So
We got to
Yeah.
insert that in this podcast because it is
we
hella
do.
funny.
It's
Yeah.
a good one. So yeah, that sounds like that it's something that you just really enjoy more now, and it's worth it. Yeah.
Well, I also, based on like your Dharma profile and all that kind of stuff, there is introverted aspects to you. And I can imagine that big groups, because you're around a lot of people in public service.
Yeah.
Like by the end of the week, you probably just sucked dry energetically, like on that pranamaya kosha level. You're just sort of like,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
good that you're like modified it.
Yeah.
Way
This
to
is
go.
great for self-discovery.
Yep.
Way to go, girl.
And I also feel like you're always the person that feels like you have to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina's always the happy one. And that's
Right, the
hard
one
to
who's
do all
hurting
the time.
Everybody. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Lead us on romance, relationships and romance, T. What did you put in for a goal?
I said, keep the fire alive. Consciously commit every day to treating Matt with the same grace and patience that I treat others with.
I love that.
There were some days I did better at this than others. And I think I need to keep this as a goal and maybe even build out on it a little bit more for next year. Because in spending so much one-on-one time with a bunch of other people, it's been recognized that I haven't made as much time for one-on-one with him.
Yeah.
And I miss that. And I think he does too. So I think we can build out this one for next year too.
It's great.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
Yeah.
Always.
Definitely.
How about you? Please share.
I like how she just starts laughing.
It's so great. No, because we had such a great conversation today about this.
So when we were preparing for the Dharma circle, I was like, well, I better look over these and see what I said for all of these. And the one for relationships and romance, it says, I am dating and have found the man with which I am compatible. Not sure yet, though. I'm still so independent. And in looking at this, I was like, I haven't done jack shit on this one. You actually
It's December shit.
You
I
actually have to kind of put yourself out there in order for that to happen. So I just so happened to look at my Facebook app, and it has, now you have a dating app on Facebook. I'm like, well, let's click, try this. What's the worst that could happen?
Nothing.
Yeah.
100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
And great stories.
Yeah.
I
For
just
others to hear, yes.
I just think it's funny that like I've never gotten that notification of a dating app on my Facebook page,
That's weird.
But no, because of course not.
Yeah.
Because your phone listens to you, and it's just like we've had these conversations. Like I'm not going to get that because everybody knows I'm married.
talking to Bonza about my inability to date. My phone.
The phone's like, here's an app just for you. So if you don't think the algorithm's listening, it is.
Effer.
Or we could
Okay.
say Bonsai wrote a note to Santa and it just came early this year.
It's like,
Santa.
Mommy wants a boyfriend.
Mama needs somebody else to talk to.
But Bonsai will always be your main man.
Yes. Oh, yes, he will.
Always be the main
Yeah,
man.
so-
how has that been? Come on. Just share a little bit, just a wee, because I
There-
almost drove off the road with how funny it was today. Okay, like, she calls me in the middle of the day. I'm like going to a client. I'm like, "What's up?" And then she tells me at the end, I'm like, "I'm gonna veer right off the road." It's so funny. It's
What did I say?
yeah. You just were like, it's kind of rough out there.
It's rough out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't try very hard in their photos.
Oh no.
They are not. Practice is not firmly rooted
No.
when cultivated over a long period of time without break in all earnestness.
It just really makes you wonder. And I've heard that when you see like somebody holding up a fish in their photo, like just delete. And there's a lot of those.
Okay. And why is that? Because it's fake?
I have no idea. I think it's because it means they like fishing and
Yeah, no.
Anyway, I don't know for sure.
You see someone
I
holding
don't
the
know if
fish.
I don't know if I want to know.
Delete. This is so
But it's
great.
just there's a lot of lost souls out there, and just a lot of people that, like you said, COVID hit pretty hard, and it's like, wow,
Yeah. Crispy critters. I'm sorry. It's a terrible thing to say. But, well, and you know what it is also? Like, I'm so out of that loop. Well, and you were too,
Yeah.
previously. But, and I'm sure you were, like, Tina, were you and Matt of the generation that met online? Yeah. See, our generation didn't do that.
No.
Yeah.
Like you met people like at work or in college
so
or
sorry
friend
for
of
those of you who have to do that.
but now this is how people meet. It's like one of the primary things like my generation, which was at the dawn of the internet. I mean, I had dial up, thank you very much. Netscape was the first browser, AOL was the first email account, like that whole thing. But when online dating became a thing, it like you didn't talk about that. And I already had met somebody in grad school when I got married, the first time before I got divorced, but that's how you met people. You met people in grad school or at work or, wherever, et cetera, like online dating. And it's not to shame online dating, but it's amazing how that's flipped.
It's a wild world out there.
It's the Wild Wild West.
I mean, and for the guys, like I get it. Like they're seeing a lot of fake photos.
Oh, touched up the whole
I click
thing.
on the women and I'm like, oh man, that's not what you really look like.
Because some of them on there?
No.
Oh, okay.
But you can, it's obvious.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've even had one guy is like, thank you for putting natural photos on your, and I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah. Why would you not? I mean, like, I understand.
Now I know why you would do that. Now I know.
No, we're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. But,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh. I'm sorry, girl. I'm so sorry.
I'm doing this for you guys.
You know what? This
I'm really not. I'm
this
really not.
right here. If you listen to any part of the podcast, this is the part that you want to listen to. Sean, make sure you and Johnny timestamp this part because it's just too perfect. We should do a whole segment on the Vedic approach to dating.
Oh, we should.
We should.
should. Okay.
Okay.
It's to get out there, be vulnerable, be authentic. Like, again, if you never put yourself out there, like, you can't whine about how I can't find anybody if you never put yourself out there.
I love it.
But I'm going to take your advice and, like, you don't settle and you don't.
No.
Yeah.
They have to meet your standard.
Well, and I have to not. My habit is, or my samskara, or whatever it is in the past, is be impressive to whoever gets interested. And that's terrible. Like,
Just be you, girl.
Yeah.
You are impressive.
So it's.
Girl, any guy, like, would.
Not any guy.
No.
Not every guy. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no, but I'm saying, like, the guy, I'll
Yeah.
change my word.
Yeah.
The guy, he has got to be something special
Yeah.
because your standard and you are up here.
Yeah.
And that has to get met. And as I
And
said
I have
to
to
you,
believe that.
it's just a fact. It's
And
not
I believe it way more than I did a year ago.
I
That's
know
for
you
sure.
do.
Yeah.
And like I said to you in the car, they got to deal with me if you mess with her. And that is not something you want.
Yeah. Anyway.
I love it.
Woo.
There you go.
Satyavani, what about you?
It's so much more fun listening to this.
I know it is.
Yeah, like,
It's a lot of people at
Tina's
work
got
are
Matt,
finding-
I've got Michael. It's like, all right, we know the
how's
thing.
the online dating going? And I'm like, yeah, let me tell you.
We're going to track this all in 2025. It'll be great. So I actually put date night once a week with Michael. And I didn't take into account that my husband is an introvert. And like,
A date is watching television with dinner.
exactly. So
And he's perfectly happy with that.
Absolutely. And like, he likes to go out, but like, not all the time, And so but what that evolved into was us spending quality time. And like I said, with giving up Krav to do that so we can, choose the series that we'd like to watch together and have dinner together and catch up on our day together. That has happened. And I feel great about that. And I want to continue that in 2025.
Nice.
Well, and didn't you say he likes board games too?
Yes.
And just
Yes.
He loves board
Loves board games. And so this year I've got to make that part of the engagement. And he always says, he's like, I loved when Praj came over. Do you and Matt like to play board games?
I was just going to
Well,
ask. I'm like, get ready.
I know.
Some we do.
Okay.
Love gin rummy. We play gin rummy with my in-laws
They
every Sunday night.
love cards.
Love it,
Michael
yeah.
comes from a family of cards.
Yeah.
All right. So we got to have you and Matt come over. And
Yeah.
Praj will bring you over and we'll just like do
And
the
my
thing.
due date.
We'll meet your date.
Right.
We'll screen him.
I'm telling you, that'll be the first date. You got to come and meet everybody.
Because that's not intimidating.
If he can survive that, it'll be okay.
That'll be good. I love it. Woo. All right. Finance. Finance is the next category. What do you got, T? What'd you put for finance?
Keep up the momentum to pay off the house and home equity loan. Put more into savings. We inadvertently did this. I was just sharing with you. We did some adulting. We did a CD and let the money
Certificate of deposit.
Yes, yes. Now we know what that is.
We were trying to remember the other day what CD stood for.
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
All right.
So we put a pocket of money there. We let it sit there, let it gain its interest. And 6 months later, we magically have $800 more than we had when we started. Rolled it into a new 7-month CD at a higher interest rate. We're going to let that original plus the interest sit in there. Just keep rolling it forward, which I feel fantastic about.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
feel very responsible and like an adult. This is kind of fun.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. How about you, girl?
This one I made very specific. I can't say I've reached it, but you got to shoot.
Gotta
pretty
shoot high.
So I am making over $8,000 a month looking at refinancing my house.
Nice.
I'm going to stick with that for this next year.
Absolutely.
Because I think that's a great goal. That's really what I want. To feel comfortable in the life that I want to live. And have to pay taxes for. So yeah. So I'm not quite there this year, but I'm closer than I was last year. So
I love that.
yeah.
So good.
Yep.
Mine was all about financial education. I wanted to get more financial education, and I found this Dow Janes online course. It's called The $1 Million Year. Highly recommend it. And I've been working through all of those modules. And it's really cool is that it's very holistic in nature. So it ties into what it is that we do as it relates to, like, what is your relationship with money? What are the mental, emotional blocks that come up with it? How were you raised in your family to think about money and all of that kind of stuff? So it's not just like, this is how you balance a checkbook, that kind of thing. So I've been taking that course, and I signed up this started later. So I didn't sign up for that course until September. Yeah. And so I have, a full year. So that's going to be continuing this year as well. So, I want to become financially independent so that, if anything happens to, we're all going to die, but, if something happens to, my spouse or, members of my family or whatever, like I can take action, because it's not about the money itself, but rather the time and the freedom that it buys. Yeah. So, that's really what it is.
About that. Personal development.
Yep. 3 more categories, friends.
Yeah.
I love it.
Sat, what do you have on that personal development?
Okay, so this was, I had a huge swing and miss on one of them.
Okay.
And what's funny, I didn't even remember that I wrote this. The first one was to learn Spanish fluently. Yeah, that didn't happen. ¿Cómo está? No bueno. I don't even remember why I wrote this.
Yeah. So we were moving to Mexico at some point, Portugal, wherever.
Right. So, but learning a language is something that, I don't know if I'm going to put it on for 2025, but but the other one that I put there was continuing education in personal training. Yeah. And have been doing that. And so I feel like that's been one that I've done on the PD side of life that I feel really good about.
Nice.
So, but I have no idea why I put learn Spanish fluently. And I'm going with no.
So didn't happen.
Yep. How about you?
I'm same vein. I'm continually improving my yoga and personal training. I looked at doing NSAM and their corrective exercise, because I heard that that's a really good one to do.
Awesome. You're a NASM certified gal, right?
I just don't have the 800 bones to.
Yeah. Have you looked at holiday sales? Sometimes they do Black Friday stuff.
They might. And now they keep contacting me every 2 days. But
are you getting the text on your phone? Yep.
Are you interested? It's like online dating. So
I love that so much.
Continually improving my yoga and PT, just learning every day. Just not thinking that you know it all with any of this stuff, because
I know nothing.
And just learning from my clients and what they need, and if I don't know it, I look it up or find somebody who does. So
agreed.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tina.
Invest in myself, renew my NASM, revisit the GISP, or begin work to earn my PMP and yoga certification. And the interesting thing, one of our Dharma circles was focused on, maybe it was at the retreat, planning, not progress. Did I get that one right?
Yep.
I feel like this year was the planning year. Mm-hmm. I had to plant the seed. I had to think about it. This is one that I am definitely rolling over to next year. I did renew my NASM, but next year I have a plan in place to do my PMP.
Yep.
And also do my
YTT.
yoga instructor certification.
Nice.
I know.
Very excited for that.
That's awesome. I love that. I love how it's like I planted the seed. And sometimes like that's what it needs to be. It needs to be like, okay, I have to put it down so that I can then begin to manifest it.
Yeah.
Which is great. All right. Fun
and recreation, Tina.
Make a list of places that we have been and would like to camp, and places we would like to go. And I gave myself a sticker on this one really early in the year, because on all of our camping trips, we actually stopped off at all the places we always drive by, and we're like, we should check that out sometime. We pulled in, we looked at it, we thought, that's a site we would stay at. And now I have on my phone in my cute little task app, like a list of probably 30, 40 campgrounds. Like, would not stay there, not enough trees, like too open, whatever else. Really want to stay there, try site number 3. And then one of our favorites, Edna Creek, reopened after getting a huge facelift. Shout out to the Parks Department for all the work that they did there. we have a favorite site there. It's right next to the creek. It's perfectly in the shade, everything else. And it takes the bar down because when we're like, let's go camping. Okay, where do you want to go camping? And you just kind of stare at each other and then you don't go.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking that barrier completely out of it.
Nice.
So
Girl.
I'm very excited.
That requires a lot of diligence. So amazing. Amazing. How about you, Praj?
I don't know. I guess some people may not see this as fun and recreation. I am lifting, doing yoga, hiking, playing with dog.
You've done all of it.
Yay! Gold star.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did a Spartan race. That was fun. After I was done with it.
Right. Because she didn't talk to me the entire car ride to Utah.
Whatever.
I
She was
heard
like-
there was a song involved in
There
getting
was.
that
And then all of a
conversation
sudden, Windows to
started.
the Wall came on or whatever that song is. And I'm just like, and she started like break. I'm like, whoa. I'd never heard that song before in my life. She's like, you've never seen. Would you say it was in Bridesmaids? Was that
No,
the song?
it was in, shoot.
Gosh, it's in a lot of them.
It's Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock when she goes to his house or pretends that they're married.
Oh, it's the proposal.
Yeah, the proposal when she's in the
Yeah,
woods.
yeah.
Grandma.
And with the grandma.
Betty
yeah.
White.
Oh, it's great. It's so
Yeah,
great.
that's the only song she knows. So she starts like breaking it out in this sweat lodge dance
it's
or whatever
so
they're
great.
doing. Yeah,
So great.
it's really fun.
You two are off the hook.
That it was just in every dance club in the I
Yeah.
don't know, mid.
And how do
Early
you
2000s.
not sing along?
Oh my
to that
God.
song?
Like, yeah, that was a whole thing I missed.
Yep, you
yeah,
missed that
I did. I
part.
missed that. I was in grad
That was
school.
the 20s when you're down for whatever.
I don't know. I wasn't down.
Yeah.
I wasn't down. I put for fun and recreation, which was not achieved this year, which was to go on another cruise with Michael. We went. We did one
Yeah.
in 2024.
Well, the year's not over yet. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I wanted to see if we could do a second
this time
one.
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. It was right after my father-in-law passed,
Yeah.
and so we didn't get a second one. But Michael got to go to South America and on his own, and so that was really cool. But
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that. Like, but we definitely going to put something on the docket for 2025.
Nice.
Last category.
Spiritual. I'll start with this one. So, this is one, the Dharma Circle, that I really was mentioning I'd like to focus on more next year. Working on myself continually, teaching others more about living a spiritual life. I feel like, kind of a lot of this year was teaching people how to live a better physical life.
Yep.
And then, but again, with the 5 layers, it's more than just physical. It's all these other pieces. So kind of tapping into the other layers and especially the spiritual layer. And in order to do that in an authentic way, you have to practice it yourself and experience it yourself. So, yeah, that's something for this next year.
How about you, Tina?
I said to pray routinely through gratitude and commit to a life that centers on caring for and serving others. And I think my idea of this has changed a lot over the year because I think gratitude really is how I connect with Source and just spirituality. And at the end of the day, I truly believe we're all here to take care of each other. Yeah. And that's where I feel the most connection. And I have a lot of room for growth and improvement there too. And I'm looking forward to that. But that's another one I want to be a lot more specific about next year in writing and how I go about doing that.
Yeah.
I love that. I put, which I did not achieve, which was to do a solo spiritual retreat, like to just take time and focus, like whether I went away for a weekend by myself or something along those lines, to get some more private meditation time and to kind of refresh and reconnect. And I think that what happened this year was, well, first, reconnecting back to Nilakanta meditation. I would give myself a partial win on that. I didn't set up the formal, like, I'm going to go away for the weekend. I'm going to go here, etc. And a lot of that was just, the unexpected passing of my father and just like so many things that just kind of unfolded. But I'm going to add that back to the list.
Nice.
Next year.
Love it.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for sharing, you two.
Yes.
So good. So,
We have our Kali card.
oh,
So I had these ladies pull one of my favorite decks, the Kali Oracle. And so I just thought it might be a nice precursor. And I mean, I know we don't do this often, which makes it a little bit more exciting. But just kind of preparing us for next year, what might be in store. So, Satyavani, what is yours?
and I didn't look. We didn't look.
Yeah, we didn't look. So,
Number 6, Prajna Madhavi. She looks ominous.
and there's way more
Yes,
in
there's
this
pages.
book. By the way, yeah, there's pages. You can go down quite the rabbit hole. So I'll
Just
just
read
read
the-
the first part.
Yeah.
She arises, instinctively responding to a severe threat to your well-being, freedom and sacred fulfillment. Her fierce form causes the impure to tremble and the pure of heart to move close. She is ferocious in her wrath against injustice. Dispense with thoughts of vengeance. Pray for mercy for all beings, especially those trapped in patterns of consciousness harmful toward themselves and others. Open your heart to her heart and allow her to attend to all matters of karma while you remain true to your higher self.
That hits home, especially with our conversation the other day. Just like meeting people where they are and also continuing to stand for the principles and things it is that are important. So,
Yeah, that praying for mercy of all beings, especially those trapped in patterns of consciousness harmful toward themselves and others.
yep.
Yeah,
That's exactly what you're doing.
yeah.
Fingers crossed. So, thank you.
Yep.
I love it. What did you get, Tina? Let me read. When you're done, I'll read yours.
Okay.
I got number 19. Oh my. Bhuvaneswari.
I can't
I'm
see that
saying her
far.
name right.
She's pretty.
Bhuvaneswari.
Yep.
She's
Bhuvaneswari.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Miss Ferrari. Yep.
Our cosmic mother is the light bringer, the sun and moon, the light of renewal and healing. She is the divine voice, the sound of creation, the sublime note that births a golden era. Hers is the capacity to create a clean slate and a fresh start. She is hope, and she is arising. She protects and preserves that which is worthy of the heart. She shines in a perpetual state of divine beauty and radiance, reigniting our creative fires and attracting to us the most supportive and honoring circumstances. Her presence signifies utmost grace.
Perfect.
2 year coming up right there.
Full body goosebumps.
Uh-huh.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Wow.
You have to make sure you take a picture.
Yes.
All right, girl. Give me the goods. Tell me what number.
Okay. 16, Mahakali.
Of course. Of course, you got Mahakali.
Show everybody what
She
she looks
got
like.
all
She's
sorts of
gorgeous.
arms going on.
Dude, she hot.
Yeah.
She's hot. Her magnificence steadies the anxious mind and reassures the heart of the empowering grace that arises through trust in her. Attempting to fathom the wisdom behind the workings of the Divine Mother would be like trying to cram the entire ocean into a teacup. Such wisdom is vast, and our perspective is limited. Yet we don't need to understand divine will to benefit from it. Better to allow her creativity, resourcefulness, and unlimited vision to take effect in our lives, bringing us every grace necessary for our blessed fulfillment
Creativity, resourcefulness.
and unlimited vision.
That's my next year right there.
But boom,
Creativity, resourcefulness, and
unlimited vision.
Yeah.
Boom.
The cards have spoken.
in order to make that happen. That's, yeah.
The cards have spoken, Tina. You're right.
Yeah.
How exciting. I think all of them are spot on.
All right. So try this, not that.
Yep. What's our trying to not that segment? Oh, great one.
You're welcome, Clever Fox. Try this, getting a Clever Fox and setting a yearly goal instead of a New Year's resolution.
Right. Goals, not resolutions.
Yes. Because resolutions work for most people for about a month to maybe 50 days.
By the time Valentine's Day comes, we're done.
And then they're done. So this keeps you on track. So setting goals, not resolutions. Like, oh, this is going to happen. And then when it starts to not happen, you just let it go.
Bail.
Yeah. This is you revisit it every single month. You do the 3-month revisit. You do the 3-month check-in. It keeps you more accountable.
Right. And you can also see your wins.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved about the weekly, like I would sit down, I would do the weekly and be like, okay, these are the things. And it would have like a daily goal. Okay, so like, what's the goal for today? And then like, you can count those wins.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to keep mine like you, Tina. I'm getting a new one so that I can map out. It was actually cool because the other day, Michael came in. He's like, what's the thing that you use? Like the Foxy? And I was just like, that's right, baby. You Foxy.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Get
So
the
it's
Foxy.
cool. You know, leading by example.
Yep.
Love it. All
Okay.
right, Tina.
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
Okay, your
All
segment,
right.
being contagious.
Being contagious. One of the easiest and best ways to be contagious, right? Your network is your superpower. Who are the people that you are connected to? Having those meaningful conversations with them, and then being consciously aware when somebody says something like, hey, do you know somebody who might be interested in a job in finance? I got a spot opening up. Thinking about who else is in your network who might be a good fit for that. Even if they're not a perfect fit, maybe it's a personality thing. Maybe it's you need to connect with Miss Souza because I'm hearing a lot of things that I hear from her. And just finding those opportunities to help your network with each other. And then that expands the network and it keeps growing and it keeps growing.
I love that.
And it's just a contagious network opportunity.
Well, because you never know. That's the thing I always say, like, you know, this past week when I'm like, I just want you to meet this person. I just want you to have the conversation because you never know. It might not work out right now, but 6 months from now, a year from now, you know, it was like the relationship with Carrie Powers of Kapow.
Yeah.
It was, we hadn't really spoken in 4 years. And one, you know, a couple months back, she's like, hey, I got this thing. And I'm like, perfect. And like, it met a goal of mine and all of that and met a goal of all of ours. And so,
I mean, a year ago, I wouldn't have done the College of Idaho interview. I wouldn't have called Nicole because I would have been like, well, if I don't get it, like, then I'll feel bad.
Right.
And so I'm just not going to try.
Right.
And I'm just like, who cares? Like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
right.
Yeah.
And it might not be now,
Yeah.
but it could be a couple of months from now. And like, that's also the divine universe working in your favor. Just allowing that to unfold because you just don't know.
And I also think about when you guys did the book review with Jeannie and Jesse, the Go-Giver.
Yes, that's
The
right.
connector in there.
Yeah.
I mean, and connections are never bad,
Never.
Yeah.
right? That's how you meet people. That's
We
how
need more
things happen.
connections in our lives.
I love that. That's a great one, Tina. Being contagious through your network.
Yes.
I love it. And I like the model, the visual that you created with connecting my network with others' network and moving that forward. So it's awesome. All right, gals.
Projections for the year ahead?
Oh, goodness. Projections for the year ahead. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited for the year ahead,
I am too.
for sure.
I am too. I'm excited for the evolution of this podcast and for the Academy. I have some projections just regarding where I think that we will be moving towards in a year. This whole pancha fitness, five body fitness, I think that is going to evolve into our theme that will begin in January. So we'll always have, you know, this year it was living a life of purpose. And I think that that will continue, but it's going to iterate over the year. So, you know, how we can serve the population that listens to us and all that good stuff over the next 2025 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anything else, gals?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for taking your time to listen to our podcast this year. We hope that your holidays are amazing and definitely go with goals, not resolutions. And we'll probably talk more about that at one of our beginning podcasts in January. So stay tuned for that. I hope that your holidays are full of connections, network connections, and joy. We need more joy in our lives. And continue to listen to us. Please share the podcast with those that you love. And we look forward to seeing you in 2025. Jai Bhagwan, and may your soul be victorious.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.